All right. You need ignorance to learn, so every belief is teaching you that it's not an absolution. Ultimately, it teaches you about the concept, the limitation of concept, and a good word we can demark that out with between the known and freedom is the ineffable. We think we know, we study a system, we study the science, we study the history, we see the statistics, we see the metrics, the hierarchy, the dynamics. But all of that information is based off of replicated designs from a visionary or visionaries way in the past. Every so often a new one rises, and we integrate aspects of that perspective and deny them and hide them, and people make use of that knowledge as if it is a secondary blockchain for their own private investments, transactions, a currency of knowledge. The currency only has value if you care, if you project your power into it, your life force into the meaning of what that is, and that's the consensus narration and the building blocks of memory in reality. It's like a hard drive, there's actually magnetic resonance being sculpted on those disks. That's what we are essentially on the earth. We exist in spirit. The form is the method, is the medium. It's very sacred if you can conceive. Con and D. There's no difference between conceive and deceive. It's just one is communal and one is subjective. Something will be true for a time and then it changes. You can't hold on to the footnotes as if that is the meaning of the purpose of whatever text or information you're gathering. When you read statistics, when you learn something, why do you feel it's true? You didn't write the book. You didn't do the research. Did you realize the research, the books, all the information is captured in a frame? A context? Let's go over here. Let's go over here. Okay, I'm in the context of this. Wherever the screen can pick up, wherever the camera sees. But beyond the camera, there's so much more going on. But yet I'm the truth of this, all this other shit. Right, Rio? All right, boy. Dude, what are you doing with this? You're bringing grass into my house? I thought you quit this, boy. All right. So why do you feel the data is true? Because people put time, energy, and effort into building a consensus building block narration that explains phenomenon that we created, that we replicated into existence. Truth changes, it's It is a slave on the auction of the highest bidder. Mythology is the only truth because it is untethered by metrics, statistics, and the fixed, formed mentality of the myopic mind. So you feel the data is true because a lot of people have proven it's true, yet the triangle of authority is in a frame. So how dynamic is the frame? Does the frame encompass all of reality, or is it specific to the here-now moment, the relational dynamics? You have to go Aquarius, you have to go a little bit higher and see all the frames in order to devote projected icon into anything which is truly communal. Otherwise, it's just something for the highest bidder. And all communal logos corrupts because it is form. It changes, you have to change too. Community works when people are growing, when people are showing. But it has to be natural, it can't be scripted. For a true authentic expression, otherwise it is a lesson. A lot of gurus out there, a lot of teachers, a lot of people with good information. A lot of that good information is wrong, harmful. But it isn't wrong, harmful for the people which covet and need that information in order to realize their own ignorance. The shadows need manifest form. If it wasn't within you to be robbed, be cheated, be lied to by the other, then it wouldn't have happened. It's helping to bring you into awareness. The shadow comes to the light of realization and you accept or deny. If you want to get off the cliff, you have to break the chain. If the anger, if the emotions have not been processed, fed to the demons of the past, then you are bound. This is the perpetuating perfection of replicated mind and the myopia of Mercury in reality. It is conduit for the divine, for the ineffable, to find the freedom of form. And that is relation, that is reciprocity. Legacies change, all things grow. If you can't accept that within yourself, you deny it and you get bad and bent out of shape about it and you hide it and then you defend it and then you say, we got to protect our legacy, our heritage, our country. That's Stockholm Syndrome. That's survival mentality. That's lowest common denominator outcome based off of primal drive survival. We're coming out of the predatorial age, but it's got another couple hundred years to shake us out of the miasma. So we can be open to the new perceptions. I used to despise community, society. I didn't like many people. I didn't have any friends. I had few other friends who were also like me. They were outcasts. They did not like a lot of the pageantry of this place. They saw the insanity. Some gave up that fight, and they had to do whatever they had to do to grow, so they embraced and fell into the life. And we get kicked around, we get pushed around, we get shown that we are not truly wanted unless we are in perfect relation, unless we are the form that functions. I could get all nerdy, techie and shit and start using all these techie analogies which actually work, but it's just replicated insanity. We have to drop the fucking words and get into real life. The puppets, the strings are being pulled. You gotta sever the tie or you're gonna get pulled into it. But if you don't sever and you do get pulled into it, then you're learning something. So there is no real mistake. It's just, how are you tuned? What are you here to learn? What are you here to help others learn? What are you here to heal? What are you here to hurt? You gotta be everything. You can't just be one thing, or you start to live in projected denials and you walk the ghost walk, consuming emotional feedback loops. All right. See this thing. A lot of people don't like dandelions. I think they're beautiful. I mean, I don't understand, people like fucking grass. It's like they just think that a sea of green is perfection. It's a monotheistic trauma loop conviction. 2, 3, 4. That's foundational right there. We'll leave that. So these little seeds here, you're a seed. You float on the winds of change. You get stuck, mired in the muck, in the forms of the previous growth. You have to climb to the top of the mountain, get out of the systemized mind. Far from the depths of the pull of the emotional swirl of life, and the pain, and the pleasure of the past. That's growth. That's going up to the mountain and coming back down with a new perspective. And people will not be able to share in that truth, but they may be able to share in the resonance of your conviction. As you learn and form your own conscious perception and share that, then other people benefit from seeing there are other ways. So be the other way. And thanks for watching, listening, and being.